Chapter 11. Look with wonder. I will remember the works of the Lord. Surely I will remember thy wonders of old. Psalm 77:11. The words wonder and wonderful are used many times in the Bible. In the dictionary, the word wonder is defined as a cause for surprise, astonishment, a miracle, or a marvel. Opensky, in his book, Tertium Organum, calls the fourth-dimensional world the world of the wondrous. He has figured out mathematically that there is a realm where all conditions are perfect. Jesus Christ called it the kingdom. We might say, seek ye first the world of the wondrous, and all things shall be added unto you. It can only be reached through a state of consciousness. Jesus Christ said, to enter the kingdom, we must become as a little child. Children are continually in a state of joy and wonder. The future holds promise of mysterious good. Anything can happen overnight. Robert Louis Stevenson, in A Child's Garden of Verses, said, "The world is so full of a number of things, I'm sure we would all be happy as kings." So let us look with wonder at that which is before us. That statement was given me a number of years ago. I mentioned it in my book. I had missed an opportunity and felt that I should have been more awake to my good. The next day I took the statement early in the morning. I look with wonder at that which is before me. At noon the phone rang, and the proposition was put to me again. This time I grasped it. I did indeed look with wonder, for I never expected the opportunity to come to me again. A friend in one of my meetings said the other day that this statement had brought her wonderful results. It fills the consciousness with happy expectancy. Children are filled with happy expectancy until grown-up people and happy experiences bring them out of the world of the wondrous. Let us look back and remember some of the gloomy ideas which were given us. Eat the speckled apples first. Don't expect too much, then you won't be disappointed. You can't have everything in life. Childhood is your happiest time. No one knows what the future will bring. What a start in life. These are some of the impressions I picked up in early childhood. At the age of 6, I had a great sense of responsibility. Instead of looking with wonder at that which was before me, I looked with fear and suspicion. I feel much younger now than I did when I was 6. I have an early photograph taken at about the time grasping a flower, but with a careworm and a hopeless expression. I had left the world of the wondrous behind me. I was now living in the world of realities, as my elders told me, and it was far from wondrous. It is a great privilege for children to live in this age, when they are taught truth from their birth. Even if they are not taught actual metaphysics, the ethers are filled with joyous expectancy. You may become a Shirley Temple, or a Freddie Bartholomew, or a great pianist at the age of 6 and go on a concert tour. We are all now back in the world of the wondrous, where anything can happen overnight, for when miracles do come, they come quickly. So let us become miracle conscious and prepare for miracles, expect miracles, and we then invite them into our lives. Maybe you need a financial miracle. There is a supply for every demand. Through active faith, the word and intuition, we release this invisible supply. I will give an example. One of my students found herself almost without funds. She needed $1,000, and she had plenty of money at one time and beautiful possessions, but had nothing left but an ermine wrap. No fur dealer would give her much for it. I spoke the word that it would be sold to the right person for the right price, or that the supply would come in some other way. It was necessary that the money manifest at once. It was no time to worry or reason. She was on the street making affirmation. It was a stormy day. She said to herself, "I am going to show active faith in my invisible supply by taking a taxicab." It was a very strong hunch. As she got out of the taxi at her destination, a woman stood waiting to get in. It was an old friend, a very, very kind friend. It was the first time in her life she had ever taken a taxi, but her Rolls-Royce was out of commission that afternoon. They talked, and my friend told her about the ermine wrap. "Why," her friend said, "I will give you $1,000 for it," and that afternoon she had the check. God's ways are ingenious. His methods are sure. A student wrote me the other day that she was using the statement, "God's ways are ingenious, His methods are sure." A series of unexpected contacts brought about a situation she had been desiring. She looked with wonder at the working of the law. Our demonstrations usually come within a split second. All is timed with amazing accuracy in the divine mind. My student left the taxi just as her friend stopped to enter. A second later, she would have hailed another taxi. Man's part is to be wide awake to his leads and hunches, for on the magic path of intuition is all that he desires or requires. In Moulton's Modern Reader's Bible, the Book of Psalms is recognized as the perfection of lyric poetry. The musical meditation, which is the essence of lyrics, can find no higher field than the devout spirit which at once raises itself to the service of God, and overflows on the various sides of active and contemplative life. The Psalms are also human documents, and I have selected the 77th Psalm because it gives the picture of a man in despair. But as he contemplates the wonders of God, faith and assurance are restored unto him. I cried unto God with my voice, even unto God with my voice, and he gave ear to me. In the day of my trouble I sought the Lord. My soul refused to be comforted. Will the Lord cast off forever, and will he be favorable no more? Hath God forgotten to be gracious? Hath he in anger shut up his tender mercies? And I said, This is my infirmity, but I will remember the years of the right hand in the Most High. I will meditate also of all thy work, and talk of thy doing. Thy way, O God, is out of the sanctuary, who is so great a God as our God. Thou art the God that dost wonders. Thou hast with thine arm redeemed thy people. This is the picture of what the average truth student goes through when confronted with a problem. He is assailed by thoughts of doubt, fear, and despair. Then some statement of truth will flash in his consciousness. God's ways are ingenious, his methods are sure. He remembers other difficulties which have been overcome. His confidence in God returns. He thinks, what God has done before, he will do for me and more. I was talking to a friend not long ago who said, I would be pretty dumb if I didn't believe God could solve my problems. So many times before, wonderful things have come to me. I know they will come again. So the summing up to the 77th Psalm is, what God has done before, he now does for me and more. It is a good thing to say when you think of your past success, happiness, or wealth. All loss comes from your own vain imaging. Fear of loss crept into your consciousness. You carried burdens and fought battles. You reasoned instead of sticking to the magic path of intuition. But in the twinkling of an eye, all will be restored to you. For as they say in the East, what Allah has given cannot be diminished. Now to go back to the child state of consciousness, you should be filled with wonder. Be not careful not to live in your past childhood. I know people who can only think about their happy childhood days. They remember what they wore. No skies have since been so blue or grass so green. They therefore miss the opportunities of the wonderful now. I will tell an amusing story of a friend who lived in a town when she was very young, then moved away to another city. She always looked back to the house they first lived in. To her it was an enchanted palace, large, spacious, and glamorous. Many years after, when she had grown up, she had the opportunity of visiting this house. She was disillusioned. She found it small, stuffy, and ugly. Her idea of beauty had entirely changed, for in the front yard was an iron dog. If you went back to your past, it would not be the same. So in this friend's family, they called living in the past iron dogging. Her sister told me the story of some iron dogging she had done. When she was about 16, she met abroad a very dashing and romantic young man, an artist. This romance didn't last long, but she talked about it a lot to the man she afterwards married. Years rolled by. The dashing and romantic young man had become a well-known artist and come to this country to have an exhibition of his pictures. My friend was filled with excitement and hunted him up to renew their friendship. She went to his exhibition, and in walked a portly businessman. No trace was left of the dashing romantic youth. When she told her husband, all he said was, iron dogging. Remember, now is the appointed time. Today is the day, and your good can happen overnight. Look with wonder of what which is before you. We are filled with divine expectancy. I will restore to you the years which the locusts have eaten. Now let each think of the good which seems so difficult to attain. It may be health, wealth, happiness, or perfect self-expression. Do not think how your good can be accomplished. Just give thanks that you have already received on the invisible plane. Therefore the steps leading up to it are secured also. Be wide awake to your intuitive leads, and suddenly you find yourself in your promised land. I look with wonder at that which is before me. End of chapter.